Halloween 18 movie to be watched as a standalone movie, and I think it'd be fine. Hold the context of it being a standalone movie, and just that the characters are taken from the 78 film. If you hold that in mind, have that in mind watching Halloween 218, that it simply shares the same characters inspired from 78 movie. I think the use of the young people in it, the kids in it, in regards to their chemistry and their chemistry throughout the movie, they work really well together. There are aspects of comedy, and especially the young black boy in it who gets up off the bed and goes, fuck, excuse the French. He says an F word out loud and goes, I'm out of here, and then runs out of his bedroom whilst the young blonde babysitter's getting murdered at the bedside. I think all that, the comedic, the script which the kids were handed, I think all that works perfectly fine. The comedy elements, yep. The bit with the when the teenagers are walking in the street and they blow up a pumpkin with a firecracker and then run off. That is great. That is really good. I enjoyed that scene in the movie. And to be honest with you, the section of the movie where the black boy, the coloured lad, gets up out of his bed and goes, "Bleep, I'm out of there," I actually thought that was enjoyable as well. I thought the kids were perfectly fine in it, especially the party scene in the middle. That didn't linger forever like I thought it was going to. I thought I've yet to read that section in the book. I've yet to go back and read the party scene section in the book. I thought the party scene was handled great. I thought where Cameron was approached by that young girl who was dressed in the cat suit, and she seduced him whilst Alison was answering her phone. I thought that was quite believable, the way a young lad who possibly had a few bevies could be easily seduced by a very manipulative young attractive girl at a party. I thought that was quite believable. I thought it was also quite genuine when Cameron said to Alison that, you know, it was just unfortunate but it happened and I didn't mean it to. I actually thought it was quite believable and quite plausible that that kind of accident could occur. And I'm tempted to say, I'll stop there, I won't say, especially what with his girlfriend going to answer her mobile phone. I thought the scene where they had their little argument next to the punch bowl, I thought that was handled really well. I thought that was scripted really well, where he takes her phone and spins it off and drops it in, and it landing in the punch bowl, so she couldn't then retrieve it. I thought that not only did that was a good scene, that it genuinely believably so led into the fact that she left the party without the phone, but the actual scene itself I thought was really well constructed. I thought it was really well handled and well constructed. I thought it was really good. The scene was really good. Okay, so I thought the teams were handled great. The highlight being where they blew the pumpkin up in the street. I thought that was great. I thought the use of the young coloured guy jumping out of his bed in the middle of that stabbing scene, I thought that was fine. I thought that was fine. I thought the party scene, the way that the party scene was set up, where Cameron was being seduced, and to say their argument, Alison and Cameron's argument, that was fine. Yeah, and I mentioned there the section of the book there where I was saying that I thought the party scene would last longer. It's simply because it's the section also I missed in the book where Laurie and the police officer arrive at the house. Those two sections occur one after another in the movie, which made me lead to think that the party scene was a lot bigger, because I'd missed out those both sections. And this part of the movie, and the fact that I think the movie should be handled as a standalone movie. Before I get on to the updated Laurie Strode, I think the main problem with Laurie Strode 218 is the fact that she wasn't likeable. Her character was not likeable at all. And also, I think she wasn't believable as well. I don't think she was believable either. A lady of that age simply walking around with a face like that. A woman that age walking around with a face like that. And just that, with no signs of friends, or we don't get to see any other side of her life, example of social life, or we don't get to see any enjoyable, any joyous moments, any joyous interactions with any other people. Simply just a woman of that age walking around with the face on like that, without seeing an opposite side to her personality, was not likeable at all. It was not likeable at all. I don't think I don't think Laurie Strode 218 worked at all in this movie. All her hair pieces throughout the movie was just not realistic at all. A woman of her age, from her lifestyle, a woman of her age, right? A woman of her age in life doesn't have a hairstyle like that. Just before shoulder length. A woman of her age has either shorter hair or longer hair. Completely unbelievable hair pieces worn throughout the movie. That was my initial reaction when I heard that Laurie Strode was coming back to the movie. It was, please God, let her wear appropriate hair pieces. Please God, let her wear appropriate hair pieces. Failed. No woman of her age has hair with ends that dry, with such frizzy dry ends, that length with such frizzy dry ends. Right? No woman at all, right, has hair like that at our age. Right? No woman at all. Right? So that's about the hair. Spoke about the hair. Now also about another aspect of Laurie which didn't wear. Right? Her body shape, her body type. No woman of Laurie's character, of her age, has a body type with such mobility. Nobody, no woman of that age has such a well-groomed, well-kempt physique as what Jamie Lee Curtis brought to the character in Halloween 18. No woman of her age has such a well-kempt physique. And if you pile on top of that the fact that she was a basket case, did she say she was? No woman has such mobility, has such masterful mobility, physical mobility. No woman does. The character Laurie Strode 18, completely unbelievable in the movie. Completely. We should have got a character study version of Laurie Strode. We should have got a character piece. We should have got a character study version. We should have got a character central Laurie Strode in Halloween 18. That's what we should have got. We should have got a character piece to Laurie Strode in H18, centered around her character, her spirit, her persona, her personality. Should have been personality based. Not we'll just throw a wrinkled up, matured H2O in, shoehorn a wrinkled up H2O version of Laurie Strode in. We shouldn't have got that Laurie Strode. It was just totally wrong for the movie H18. We got what we shouldn't have got in H18. It didn't work. In my opinion, it just didn't work. Got a Laurie Strode in H18 which just didn't work on every level. What I did like about this H18 movie especially was the Dr. Sartain character. Whether or not he was associated with the old Dr. Loomis character, I felt to me was irrelevant. I thought he actually brought character development to the narrative. I want to give some praise to this movie, right? That Sartain character was a wonderful addition to the movie. I thought the energy he brought when he was involved in driving Alison and Michael to Laurie's house toward the end finale of the movie, I thought was absolutely wonderful. This is not a popular opinion, right? This is not popular opinion at all, because most people have a completely contrary opinion to this. They actually wish that he wasn't included in the movie, but I actually think that his character is one of the few additions, one of the few characters in the movie, one of the few additions to the narrative, which I was grateful for. The energy brought when he noticed that Michael had been run over when he was a passenger in the police car. To his shock and horror, the police officer ran Michael over, and as he ran out of his side of the vehicle over to Michael and said, "Oh, he's dead, isn't he?" Assumed he was dead on the floor. You could see the rage and anger in the doctor's face. And as he was going for his breast pocket, to fiddle for his breast pocket, as he was assuming in his rage that Michael would be dead, to turn with it to stab the police officer who was the driver of the vehicle. I thought that was the energy to that character, and to that scene in particular was wonderful, as he kept on stabbing repeatedly the officer in the throat. It was energetic, creative, interesting, and it was original writing. The whole Sartain character, it was completely contrary to what treatment Laurie got. I knew going into the movie that is where the police officer would die, but on reading the book, see, we saw all this. I think that was not in the trailers where the officer died there. We were led to believe in the trailers that he was going to die in the house
where the blonde babysitter died. I think one of the trailers was edited to make us think that he was killed in the house. So, when I read that in the book, I think I'd seen clips by the time I read it in the book, actually, that he was killed later in the movie. As many negatives as there were, to me, the Sartain character was a positive for the movie, generally a positive. I was gutted that the police officer died, by the way. I was gutted. But I really think the Sartain character was wonderful. I thought he was wonderful. I thought Dr. Sartain, that twist, the whole energy he brought, wonderful addition to the movie. It does give a good sense of drama, the surround sound. There's like a thunderous bass which starts as the Universal logo commences, and then the Blumhouse picture logo comes on. You know, all the production logos at the beginning, there's this thundering bass which underlies all that. Basically, the score commences prior or at the same time as those production logos begin, before even the first scene of the movie. It does its damnedest to do its best for the viewer. I watched it multiple times, and I am still in a complete state of shock watching it. The ending is better read in the book. It's taken more slowly as they leave Laurie's house, and then as they exit the house, walking down her pathway onto the roadway where they notice the vehicle approaching Laurie's house, where they flag it down, and where there's some conversation between the characters as they get into the vehicle which they escape in, which they leave in. Laurie does actually mention how sad she feels for her daughter, that her husband was there dead on her front driveway as they're leaving the house. There is some dialogue as they're leaving the house, whereas in the movie it's just like beat, all in quick successive beats, whereas in the book it's taken slowly as they're leaving the house. It's not all drawn out per se, but it's written as a nice piece. It's written. There I will leave it. The ending is better read in the book. I enjoyed the young characters in it. I was shocked as to how much I did enjoy the young characters in it. The fodder, the death fodder, the slash fodder. I was taken back by how much I enjoyed them, how well they were crafted in the narrative. Whereas in all slashers and horror pics of the 70s and 80s, they were all literally throwaway. They had no personality. There were minimal intertwining dialogue between them. And if there was, it was just, as I say, throwaway. I do prefer it as a written piece in the book. I will say that, hand on my heart. Now moving on to Ghostbusters. Where is it? 215, 216's Ghostbusters. I may have to leave it here because there are some people walking down the prom now. I may have to leave it. Yeah, I'm going to do this another time. Ghostbusters 216's. There are people coming down. I'll back in a bit. Apparently, we're having a new Ghostbusters movie with the original posse. We're having another one made, aren't we? As I speak now, the origins of that movie are being put together as I speak. What is it people expected to get from a Ghostbusters 3 4 years ago? What is it cinema punters wanted to get from a third Ghostbusters movie. What exactly did we want as movie-going audiences? What did we want? Did we want a movie full of old folk like we got an old Jamie Lee Curtis in H18? A movie full of old folk, yeah, right, start from there. Then, what would the narrative have been? Them all pondering over a photo album, buying back the fire station, pondering over a photo album. I say pondering back over the past, thinking of past victories when they trapped all these ghosts and back in the day when they were younger. I believe that's what we're going to get, aren't we? That's what we'll probably get, won't we, in a few years' time? But is that what we really want to see? A bunch of old people just because it worked in Halloween 18? Just because it worked for that? Will it work in a Ghostbusters movie? Ghostbusters 16, right? I loved it, right? And anyone who says to you that I sort of liked it, it was alright, passable, they loved it too, right? It was a complete niche movie, right? And you either loved it or you fucking hated it, right? It's one of those movies which appeal to the pink pound. Now, right, I'm not saying, right, if you enjoyed it, then you were obviously homosexual, right? Either a man or a woman, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, this movie it explicitly appealed to the pink pound, and I think that's why a lot of YouTubers, right, especially young male YouTubers, right, who flood YouTube, hated it and couldn't stand the anticipation for it, etc, etc, because it was obviously appealing to the pink pound. I didn't know that, watching all the build up to it online, etc, etc. I wasn't aware. I just thought it was going to be a similar Ghostbusters movie which we had back in the day, but with women. It was an extreme pink pound appeal movie, and with Chris Hemsworth in the secretarial role, throwing a blonde male in like they did with Cheers of Woody Harrelson back in the day. It was to appeal to a female audience. It was explicitly to appeal to a gay audience. Now, whether that's held back, now whether or not, I don't know whether that it failed at the box office, and I don't know. I'm not sure. If it did, that's probably why, because it appealed to a gay audience. Girls aren't going to be the deciding factor in whether or not they go to see a movie, are they? It's the boyfriend who decides, isn't it? It was an extreme pink pound appeal movie. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the female leads worked fantastic. I thought the chemistry worked fantastic. I thought Chris Hemsworth's character was a bit weird, right? He was a bit creepy, right? To me, I thought his character was written, it was the way it was written a tad creepy, right? A tad creepy. Geeky men aren't normally like that. Geeky men are normally more smiley, right? That's what I was saying before my battery's going to run out. They're normally more smiley. Normally more agreeable, smiley, not so confrontational like Hemsworth was. Now, whether that was because he didn't play the part that well, or whether it's simply because he is a straight male. I'm not saying all bloody geeky men are gay either. Oh, I'm getting my words all toe-tied, cross-tied here. I'm going to get home and charge my battery. It's going to fail on me again. The way Hemsworth's character would just say something and carry on looking either in the same direction or at the same person, as if to say as if he wouldn't look away unless he got a response of some kind. I thought that is more creepy. That's the way I would describe him as being creepy. And perhaps the way it was written, perhaps a tad too dry. Yeah, he had a sullen expression on his face. And as he would say something, he sort of like wouldn't like change his expression. He would just, yeah, as I say, just keep on looking in the same direction as if to anticipate willing a response of some kind. And he would do some kind of stand-up, like little mini monologues and stuff, whether it be sat behind his desk or stood around where the women were without smiling. And I thought that was either written tad too dry and creepy, certainly coming across a little bit creepy for me anyway as a viewer. I thought Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of a bimbo secretary, I thought it was slightly off for me. But 3D, yeah, throughout the whole movie the 3D was being utilised in the black bar area. Now and again you get it in the odd occasional movie, the 240 movie, where the 3D escapes, if you will, into the black area, the bars area, top bottom. But this film did it all great, all the way throughout. It was brilliant. It didn't just, where some directors want the cake and eat it, i.e. Michael Bay, where they affect the aspect ratio of the whole image. But this one didn't, it just had the 3D escaping into the black bars. The comedy really works throughout the whole movie. Yeah, the club owner was great. It was great camp fun, fantastic camp fun. The club scene was a major highlight in the movie. When the Ghostbusters team turned up, because he must have noticed the ghosts he had on site. When he was welcoming the women onto his premises, and he was saying to them how the ghosts weren't even frightened of his scream or something, the camera would suddenly zoom in on his face, do that. It was classic comedy gold. So the whole movie was, well, I was watching it at home, rocking back and forth on the chair, screaming. I was screaming. There was a cameo by Ozzy Osbourne in said club scene. It's just toward the end of the club scene, he's there. The camera just like goes on for a second, that's right, and he blames Sharon for something. That's right, you know what he usually does on that? It's his thing, isn't it? He blames Sharon for something. He's there. I forgot to mention it when I did that previous excerpt. Yes, Ozzy Osbourne cameoed in it. Can you believe that? Ozzy Osbourne cameoed in it. Ozzy Osbourne. That was the highlight of the movie. That was like the megaest bit in the whole movie. Anyway, the club scene, that whole club scene was like a real highlight of the movie. It was like a set piece highlighted set. It was like a set piece highlight, so to speak. I think that was the bit as well where the mannequin in the trailer, you saw the mannequin. Moving on, like the coloured actress, right? The black girl, the coloured actress. I thought she was brilliant in it, better than I thought she was going to be in it. And I will keep it short, without being prejudiced of any kind, right? I'm just saying to you, between you and me, right? Just between you and me, right? The black girl, the coloured girl, was better than I thought she was going to be in it. She's brilliant in it, right? Brilliant in it, right? Just between the camera and I, I'm a one viewer, right? Right. Just between the camera and I, the black girl, the coloured girl was better than I thought she was going to be. She was brilliant, she was brilliant, brilliant. Right, and I move on to the cameos now. I will say, I think the only cameo which overlapped into this movie, which could possibly be canon, was Dan Aykroyd's as the taxi driver. I know the filmmakers weren't going for that, but yeah, as a viewer it was interesting. I had to giggle. I was waiting for Sigourney Weaver's cameo, but we did get it during the end credits. That was great. Laughing, made me giggle. It was wonderful. Bill Murray's character, his cameo, the mad rich man, was he? Mad publicist. Definitely could not be canon from his movies from the 80s. Not that the filmmakers were intending it to be like that. Yeah, he died, didn't he, when he got through out the window? Didn't he? He died, didn't he? His character died. Yeah, it was obvious he was Bill Murray. Obvious he was Bill Murray. Oh, I wasn't looking out for the cameos, and when I got them, it was great. Made for brilliant viewing. It was just the icing on the cake for that movie. It was. So in conclusion, Ghostbusters 16, is it? Or was it? An exhibit disc for your 3D in-home cinema setup. And also for the movie itself also. If you're not asked about women taking the lead, it's basically it's basically Ghostbusters 1 from the 80s, but with women. That's what the women Ghostbusters from 2016, is it? And also the disc, as I say, being exhibit. If you want to see what Blu-ray 3D, the format is capable of, its disc is exhibit material. If you get a new 3D in-home theatre set up soon, anytime soon, get the Ghostbusters 3D disc. And as for Halloween 18, why it was made, that's my only conclusion for that movie. Why it was made, why on earth was it made? What was the point? I can't see the point in it of being made at all. And it was H2O, but with wrinkles. That's what it was. And he threw in the elderly cop played by the dude from The Postman, just to try and mix it up a bit, just to try and make it more character central, which it wasn't. Which it was. Okay, there you go. I hope you liked my take on those two movies, and I may do another soon. Thanks for watching. Over and out. I think it is. I think it's part of the club scene. Right, okay, moving on. Right, these glasses are going to give me jip, by the way. Real jip for staying up. Okay, that was brilliant. Excellent. It was... what's the word? It was... great movie. And I forgot to mention... brilliant, so... hang on. God, no, all geeky men aren't all gay. They're not all geeky men. Goodbye. I'm going to take it where this leaves off. Alright, back in a bit.